everybody. This is Tim Flood back with you for your Monday edition of Tim Talk with your host, Timothy Flood, which is me. And today is Monday, I think it's June 7th or something, 2026. I don't know, it's hard to keep up with those days. Just can't get my seat situated here, I'm sorry. So I don't know how things have been going in all y'all's world, but in my world, it's just, it's just another. I think these cameras are back. I know I should have took care of all this before I started. Bear with me just a moment. Okay, I'm back to where was I? Oh, hold on for just a second. I gotta get my glasses. All right, I got my glasses. I didn't put them on. I don't need them just yet. Only when I read. So I hope everybody's doing okay out there in the world. I hope everybody's healthy and happy and making their way. And I just hope that I just hope that you're all right. Because I do care about everybody. I care about everybody. I think I'm what's the word they call it? Somewhat of an empath. I'm very empathetic towards people and situations. And, I just, I don't know, me personally, I've just been feeling really down here lately. Having these, I wouldn't call them, maybe flashbacks of when I found my son that morning. Like I could be doing anything. I'd be out there mowing. I'd be out there doing the trim, weeding the garden. Luckily, it's never happened when I was driving. Yeah, I don't drive a whole lot anymore, though, because my panic attacks make it difficult. I can just be sitting there watching TV, browsing my phone. I don't really watch TV. I just kind of have it as background noise. I just be sitting there thinking. The next thing I know, I'm right there, and I know that it's in my mind, but it's real, and it's happened a lot here lately. And the other day, when I was there, I just yelled out no. I just yelled out no. I don't know why I yelled out no. No, did I not want to be there? No, to try to stop the flashback. No, to him laying there being gone and me knowing it. I don't know. I don't know, folks. This is the hardest thing I've ever dealt with in my life. And I mean there's nothing to even compare it to. I mean, nothing. I lost my dad suddenly, and that was That was a shock, and that was hurt. That hurt. It did. But I guess because that's the order of things, it just wasn't as. It just didn't have that shock that just brought me to my knees and just crashed my consciousness. Consciousness. That what? Is that the word? Consciousness. Broke my reality. Broke my heart into 1,000,000,000 pieces. Shattered my soul, ripped my soul. Just clean out. I don't know. It's hard for me to say because I just don't know if I don't think I'm ever going to get. I know I'm never going to get past this. I don't know if I really want to because I'm afraid if I move past it, that's when I'll start forgetting and not remembering. And I just can't do that to my son. He deserves to have every memory remembered, and he deserves to be remembered. And I'm gonna do that. Be damned. I've tried all these therapies and all these exercises and all these different medicines. And, it's just, the ones that I'm on right now keep me the most regulated, keep me the most based, but it's not like it was before he left. It's like there's times when I feel like I've lost my mind. There's times when I feel like, I don't know, this is gonna sound so strange. Sometimes I feel like maybe I'm the one that died. And I'm like this is my punishment or something. Maybe this is my penance for something that I did. I mean, I know that I can live my life out in this pain. And I can mask it when I need to mask it around my other kids and my grandkids and the people that deserve the best of me. But the best of me is something that I just don't have anymore. Because I just don't care anything about this world anymore. I care about the people in it. Love everybody, especially my family. My family is my world. But anything else, I don't care about this world anymore. I'm just ready to go home. I'm tired. I'm exhausted. I don't know if anybody, if I've told y'all this or not, but I started having these panic attacks and anxiety episodes in my early 20s. I'm talking like 21. And man, dude, I was raised on a farm. I was just a whole farm boy, a rural county here in Kentucky. We raised it back, and there was cattle and crops, and we grew up lower middle class, I'd say. At some points, we were probably in the lower class, a year or two, but most years we had enough. But coming out of a county like that and being raised the way I was raised, it just stuff like that. Just I didn't understand. I didn't understand it. Like I literally, the first time it happened to me, I thought that I was going to die. I literally thought that I was going to just fall over dead. And I was just like so scared. And then, I made it through. That one lasted, most panic attacks don't last that long. That one lasted a good hour and a half, I'd say. The whole time driving home, I was going through it. And I go to see my family doctor that I grew up with, because I hadn't, even though I'd moved away from there, he was still the only doctor I'd ever seen. I went down there and he ran a bunch of tests, listened to my heart, blah, blah, blah. He said, you're healthy. He said, it's probably you probably just had a panic attack. And he explained to me what it was. And I was like, still me, the critical, always the critical thinker. Okay, chemicals do that, do what I was feeling. No, there was something going on. My heart was about to stop. My brain was about to stop. Something. It just didn't make sense to me. So, just to set my mind at ease, they put me on a heart monitor, and they did all these heart tests, stresses, and all this, and then they put me on that medicine. I think the first medicine I was on was Paxil, and man, believe it or not, it got rid of it. And once they got rid of it, it definitely didn't get rid of it. It masked the symptoms, alleviated the symptoms. I go a couple years, and I'm settled into life, and things are going pretty good. So I weaned myself off of it. Weaned myself off of Paxil all by myself, just a little bit, less dose today, less dose. Everything's good. Good, fine. Till my divorce in my late 20s, I think it's 28. And through the divorce, things were fine. I guess maybe I'd learned to deal with the pressure a little bit more. But one night I was at work at OA America, and man, it just hit me. I just felt like I was going to fall over. And I told my supervisor, the shift leader, I was like, man, I gotta go home. I gotta get to the hospital or something. I just don't feel right. Something's off. So he takes me out to the hospital. They check me out. It's the emergency room. Can't find anything really wrong. They asked me about the history of blah, blah, blah. And yeah, back in my early 20s, I dealt with it. But I was living in Frankfurt at the time. First time living away from home, away from everybody on my own. So we come out of the hospital. He's like, "Well, I got to get back to the factory. Why don't you just go on home and take a few days off?" So I did, and a few days off, and I had another one. It was just plumb awful. So I made an appointment with my doctor at this time was over in Brandenburg. His name was Dr. Charles Conley. And I go there and see him, tell him what's going on, say, man, I don't really remember what it was like when I was in my early 20s, but I don't know, it just felt different. It felt weird. He's like, well, we'll check everything out, but I'm pretty sure, he asked me a bunch of questions. He's like, how's my life? Do you have any stress in your life? Do you have any problems? And I'm like, no, not really. Did go through a divorce, got 3 kids, and it's like, oh, sarcastic. Oh, no, you don't have any problems. So he went ahead and run all the physical tests, and they all came back good. Probably like he knew it would, but I just still couldn't wrap my head around it. This is about around about 2003 or 4 maybe, and he puts me on Zoloft, and he gives me a prescription of Ativan for the panic attacks, for the time, because it takes a while for the antidepressant to build up in your system. So I knew there would be a panic attack or two before it built up in my system, and it did happen a couple of times, and I take that, and within a few minutes it's gone. I would knock it out. But then the Zoloft built up in my system, and I'm going to tell you right now, you'll hear horror stories about Zoloft, but you'll also hear miracle tales. And Zoloft was my miracle tale. I was on Zoloft for I think this time I was on Zoloft for maybe a year or 2. I can't remember. And it was the best I'd felt since I was a teenager. And, I only ended up having to take 2 of the Ativans, and then I just got rid of them because I didn't need them. And benzodiazepines they're very easy to get addicted to. And I don't mean addicted as in, well, a lot of people do take them for pleasure, but I mean, your body just becomes dependent on them. And so then I was good for, I think I took them from 2003 to 2005 maybe. And I came off the Zoloft again, and I weaned myself off again, and everything was good. Life was good. Things were good. Work was good. My kids were good. Everything was good. And, it stayed that way pretty consistently until out of the blue in 2009, we're taking a a family trip. All of us going over to Holiday World over in Santa Claus, Indiana. We used to go there once a year, every summer. And I'm about halfway there, and I started having the most terrible panic attack. Terrible panic attack. I'm just like, oh man, I don't have nothing. I don't have nothing. And I was just like, I don't want to pass out and wreck with these because I had two of the kids with me. I'm like, guys, I'm not feeling good. If something, because they were a little bit older teenagers, I was like, if something happens and I pass out, I said, just get a hold of the wheel and get us over to the side of the road. I said, right now, I think I want to be okay. I'm going to try to breathe through this. I said, it's just a path. I'm pretty sure it's just a panic attack. I said, but if it's something more, you guys know what to do. Especially my oldest son, the one that's gone now. He would have known exactly what to do. Would have grabbed my leg and took it off the gas, and then just steered us into the emergency lane. But I was able to get us over there, and once I got there and got around, we all met up, and I told everybody what happened. I got really, really hydrated. I drank a bunch of water, a bunch of Gatorade, and stayed away from soda or anything with caffeine in it. And we stayed there the whole day, and I was fine the rest of the day. But then I was scared when it was time to leave. I got scared again, and there was nobody to drive the car for me, so I had to drive it back. So I took the two boys with me. I said, "Boys, we're gonna try to make it home. I think we'll be okay, but just letting you know, I could have another spell." Well, I never really did have a bad one, but I felt the whole time I felt like it was just creeping up on me, trying to sucker punch me. But I did my best to keep it at bay, and thought I did pretty good. We got all the way home and got settled in, and I think this was around 2010, maybe. Sounds about. I was seeing Dr. Garner at the time. And I go see Dr. Garner and I tell him what happened. And I'm like, Dr. Garner, this is the third time in my life this has happened. Out of the blue, for no reason again. I said, the last time I was on Zoloft, and it really, really, really helped me. So I said, I'd like, if you don't mind, go ahead and do all the, the heart stuff like we always do, and check all that out, make sure that's still all good. And it was. I said, but I'd like to be put back on Zoloft, and I think I'm just going to stay on it this time. And I've been on it. Well, I ain't going to say I've been on it since then. There were 2 times when my doctors wanted to try something different. It was, they put me on Buspar one time, and then the most recent was Pentelix. And just needed Buspar made me feel like, oh my gosh, about a half hour after taking it, all I wanted to do was eat. And I'd feel weird. I'd feel tingly in my fingertips, and I'd want to eat constantly. So I said, this one ain't for me. So we just go back to Zoloft and stayed on that. Dr. Garner also gave me a prescription for Xanax at the same time. And I don't know if they knew about the benzodiazepines back then, but it's like, take these along with your Zoloft. See how you feel. And a lot of people get, I don't know, a lot of people get some kind of, I don't know why they're so popularly abused, because they don't do nothing. They don't give me any feeling whatsoever when I take them, good or bad. They don't make me feel any sort of way. Like if I'm having a panic attack, I take one, I will feel it, I will feel it alleviating that in that kind of way. But as far as just taking them just to take them to get some kind of a high or euphoric feeling, I don't see how people do it. I don't know. I guess my system's different than most people's, because I've heard horror stories of people being addicted to those things. So I'm very careful with them. Anyway, after me and my wife had got divorced, I'd become a drinker too, and I was, no, I wouldn't say I didn't start out an alcoholic, but somewhere around 2011, I don't know, I guess I just got into the habit of drinking every day, drinking at least 6 beers every day. And then, I just kind of went up from there. I got to where I was drinking 12. Just became for several months, and then I was living with my mom and dad at the time, and one night, I guess I just kind of blacked out. Mom and dad couldn't get me to answer them. They were trying to get me to get a hold of me through the door or something. I just wouldn't answer or whatever, and the next morning, Mom's like, "You need to see somebody. You need to get some help for that." I was like, "All right." So I went. That's the first time I went inpatient to come off of to wean me off of the alcohol and the Xanaxes. Although I wasn't abusing the Xanaxes, I was just taking them as prescribed, and it was just the drinking combined with it was just like, I didn't realize how dangerous that was until I got to talking to the doctor in the hospital. And I was in there, I think, for 2 or 3 days, and they got me weaned off pretty good. They put me on something called gabapentin, so I wouldn't have seizures, and they said you could stop taking it in so I think 6 weeks or something like that, whenever you feel like you're good. So that's what I did, just quit taking. I weaned myself off of them, and now I find out that that's one of those really addictive drugs, and I dodged that bullet. But when I was in there, they upped my dosage of my Zoloft, and I was taking 100 milligrams a day, once a day. And so, then I stayed on it. I stayed on it for the rest of the time. And then, Um, I'd been on it for quite some time, and then in 2022, when I lost my dad, at the same time I was separating from my wife, losing my home, started having breakthroughs, panic attacks, breakthroughs, anxiety. And I've always dealt with anxiety. My anxiety my whole life since my early 20s has been high, all constant. But in 2022, things just got really, really real for me after my dad passed, and I ended up having to go into inpatient again. I think I was in there for 4 or 5 days that time, and that's when they switched me to Trintellix, and I was on it for a few months, and then I was driving home from work one time. I was on Gene Snyder Freeway, and anybody knows that road is a mess, especially afternoon rush hour. And I had the worst one of my life, and stuck in a big old bunch of traffic. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is it. I'm gone. Whatever this is taking me out. So I ended up just getting off on Newcut Road. Got out, went inside, walked around, cooled off, got myself something to drink. Just kind of breathe for a little while. Let it pass. Get back in the car. Attempt to get home. It's only about another 20 miles. About every 2 or 3 miles, I'd have to stop and get out. Soon as I called my psychologist. At that time, I had started seeing a psychologist. She's great though. She's awesome. And I'm like, and I had started seeing a therapist as well, which I still see both of them. Well, I've got a new therapist now. My old therapist, I think he went somewhere else, so I had to find a new one. So anyway, that happened, and I call her, and I'm like, man, you give me back on Zoloft. Give me back on Zoloft, and let's get it up to the 100 milligrams. I don't want anything. I don't want any benzodiazepine or anything else. He's like, but you have an anxiety. There's some antihistamines that work just as good for some people. She said, have you ever tried hydroxyzine? So I said, no. But she's like, well, we'll try that, see how it works. Some people can handle it, some people can't. Well, I took it, and it helped a little bit. Not a whole lot. I still take it. I took it for quite some time. And then from 2022 to 2024, I guess everything was, when my dad passed, I guess it just, I don't know, it did something to me. did something to me. I just couldn't. I couldn't perform the work that I used to could do. I was a machinist, CNC machinist, tooling guy. I'd been in, management and supervision, but I just couldn't handle that stress anymore. I would just get stressed out and I just wouldn't do anything. I just couldn't concentrate. I couldn't keep my thoughts straight anymore. I used to be this OCD about everything being exactly where it needs to be, everything being clean and straight and organized. I just lost that. It just went away. It's the weirdest freaking thing. Just went away. And, and then I could not organize my thoughts. I could do certain things, like around the house, I was fine. I could, do my daily duties. I could do it, it was still different though. My mind was just a mess. It just didn't feel right. I felt off constantly. I always, after that last panic attack, I always had a fear of having another. And another big one. And I did have a couple small ones. And that's what brought on the fear of driving. I can't drive long distances anymore. Like I can drive around town, like within a 5 mile radius. I'm fine. Any further than that, I get. I know what's gonna happen. I know it's not a matter of if or when. It, when it's gonna happen. So, but that's just if I'm driving. If I'm riding with somebody, I'm fine. I'm not fine, but I'm less. So, then in 2024, when I lost my son, and we weren't able to get a cause of death, cause of passing, which we still haven't got. I just became a different person. And I literally feel like at times, like I said earlier, maybe I'm the one that really died, and this is some kind of a penance that I'm having to pay out, or I feel like maybe CERN did something weird and pushed me into a timeline where my son's no longer here, or and as far as I can't just can't concentrate. I can't keep things straight. I can't even hardly explain it. I'm always sad. Always, always. And I know that I will be until the day that I die. There are happy moments, like when I get to see my other kids or grandkids do something and accomplish something. I love that. I love that. I love that. But it's been loss after loss after loss. I lost my uncle Philip shortly after my son. Then I lost my uncle Eddie shortly after that. And now I've lost my Aunt Teresa. And it's just, my life is, I just can't, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with me. I don't know why I can't. And then, no, the last couple of days I haven't been sleeping well. It's probably been a couple of weeks, I guess. I don't know. The disassociate, I disassociate all the time. I just feel like I'm just like zone out. I've probably noticed it on my videos before. I was just like zone out. Used to not do that. Um, I, I mean, I just feel angry. I feel cheated. I feel, um, I don't know. I mean, I feel lethargic, fatigued. Like some days it's just like takes every ounce of energy. Like my body weighs a ton. Everything to get up out of bed, just to get up. Um, it's very, no, like I said the other day, I don't know if if y'all watched it or not. I've cried literally every day for over like 530 days. The grief is always there. It doesn't dissipate, or it hasn't for me. Dissipate. Sometimes sometimes it hides for a few minutes, but it always comes back. And the despair, chaos, the lack of focus, the brain fog, um, just feeling lost, hopeless, angry, confused, fearful, nervous, worried, no energy, lack of desire for anything, just wanting to isolate, just feel empty, get agitated really easily, very irritable all the time. Oh, it's just constantly racing through my head, and I can't put them into order, into focus, or in the line. I can't slow them down. I can't. Uh, it's just, and procrastination. Procrastination is something that I never did, never. And you can ask everybody if I had something to do, I got it done right away. Didn't procrastinate. I was on top of it. Now I just don't care if I ever get things done. You know, sometimes I feel like I'm drowning. I have an indifference to living now. Like, I want to be here to watch my kids grow up the rest of the way, my grandkids and all that. But but I'm just tired and I just want to go home sometimes. And here lately, I've been having a lot of issues with my memory. I wake up with my heart racing, shortness of breath, I think that's just the anxiety and the panic coming on whenever I'm asleep and it's waking me up. You know, it's just it's a place I never thought I'd be. It's a place I don't like to be, but it's a place that I will be to keep Luke's memory alive. I'll deal with it. If it's a penance, I'll pay the penance. I'll do it. I don't care. Put your loads on my shoulders. I'll take them all. I just don't care. I can handle it. I'm strong. I can handle it. And never say it'd be easy. Never would claim it for it to be easy. This is the hardest damn thing I've ever did in my life. And it's made me feel like I've got a lot of, and this has been most of this year, probably since the holidays last year. I've been experiencing depersonalization a lot, where I feel like I'm not me anymore, and I don't know who I am. And I don't know if anybody else out there has experienced that, but if you have, let me know. It's a new thing for me. Disassociation, it's an oldie for me. I don't like it. I don't like the way it feels. Flashbacks, PTSD, that's a new thing for me. PTSD of finding my son, being the one to find him. What makes it so traumatizing was that he was so healthy. He was a very, very health conscious, and he was a lot like me in that way. And I guess that's why I just don't kind of understand why it happened the way that it did. You know, I well, shit, it's going on close to 40, almost 50 minutes, and I haven't did really anything but talked about myself and my issues. I'm sorry, but I guess maybe I just needed to get that out. Um, I'm gonna keep. I'm gonna keep. I'm gonna keep on trucking. So don't anybody worry for me. I could never do what my dad did. Check myself out early. I couldn't do that. But I'm just letting y'all know I'll be okay. I can deal with this, and I have been dealing with it, and I'll be okay. I know I'll be okay because I've got the Heavenly Father to help me, and he's why I'm here, why I'm still here, why I've made it as far as I have. I may not be as articulate as I was at one time, maybe back 4, 5, 6 years ago, but I'm still upright and I'm still trying, and I still love, and I've got a big heart, and I give my love to everybody. I love everybody. I know everybody don't feel the same way, but it's okay. They don't have to. That's the beauty of free will. But I'm gonna get off here and just say thanks for listening, you guys. And if any of y'all have experienced any of these things that I've talked about that just seem off to me, just let me know your experience. It'd be nice to get others uh, stories, information to kind of see where I'm at, if I'm alone in this, or other people dealt with it. All right, guys. Well, I'm gonna let you go. Just give each other hugs, love one another, tell your family you love them, hug your kids, tell them you love them, and that they're your world, and be nice to one another, be courteous to one another, because you don't know what the other person out there is going through. Could be a lot. I love you guys, and I will catch you on the next episode. Say peace out till then.